Okay, it is that time of the night again, ladies and gentlemen. And by that time, I mean time to watch some quality League of Legends gameplay. Just one game tonight in Season 2 of the Do It Big Invitational. Should be an exciting matchup here between Andyland and Double Jungle Gap. Andyland here coming in on the back of an undefeated 3-0 week. 3-0, 2-0 week. Let me take that back. Sitting at 9-2 in the stand. Wait, hold on. That's not right. They should be 10-2. Excuse me. So sitting at 10-2 right now in the standings, really running away with the league. Next closest team at 6 wins. Meanwhile, they are at 10 wins. So going to be matching up here against a new look double jungle gap that have really found their stride here with their two most recent games. Unfortunately, they did take a loss in their game against Pokecard, but they were absolutely dominating the game before a couple of unfortunate mishaps really gave Pokecard the comeback win. And then last night up against Support Diff, they played, in my opinion, their cleanest game of the season thus far. It was a pretty convincing win, so going to look to build off of a lot of that positive momentum here, but it will be no easy feat as they are up against the juggernaut that is Andyland. All right, as we get ready here, let's take a look at the lobby. The lobby is pretty much set up here, so that'll be fun. Let's get that going. And yeah, we'll get the interviews going and all that very soon. Gonna check in with both teams, and then we are going to get rolling. So be right back.
Yeah, fun. That's why they've
Hello,
been coming back.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Roger.
Are you guys ready?
Wait,
Yep.
what are you guys doing in chat? What? How'd you do that? Hey, Roger.
Hey, Philip. How's it going?
Hey.
Is your posse showing up tonight? They weren't there yesterday.
I don't
was
know. I
kind of
think
concerned.
they've been a little. I think it's on the second season slump. You know, like we're like.
I think it's because the games don't matter for us anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe they'll be
okay.
around for the.
Damn, it's like that? Alright. Well, anyways, should be a fun interview too. Gordon, you're coming up, right?
Yeah.
Good. Alright, I'll be right back and check in with the other team. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going? You guys all good to go?
Yep.
Did you hear
Right
Andy
now.
say the games don't matter for him anymore? This fucking guy. Somebody get him off his high horse.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Alright.
I mean, looks like it's gonna be you guys trying to get them off their high horse, so yeah.
Damn right.
Roger, are you? Is it okay to like say whatever on your stream?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All right.
no filter. Just let
I'm
Gordo have it.
fucking letting loose.
Okay, let's go. All right, so you hear that, ladies and gentlemen. This should be an exciting pre-game interview. It will be between Gordo Lee and me, Yeezy. So once we get the pair of them up here on the interview desk, I think we'll let them give us a little bit of the history. So don't want to spoil anything. But let's get going here. I'm gonna ask for the interview candidates.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I can't see the chat. Did you
Yeah, no.
I can-
You are.
okay.
Yes, I did ask for you guys to come up. So we're gonna wait
Nice.
for Gordo to come up here, and then
Sounds good.
I'm excited for this interview. Okay. Gordo taking his sweet fucking time. There he is. All right.
Make everyone fucking wait for you, Gordon.
Okay, so we are joined here by Gordo Lee and me, Yeezy. I want to give either of you the opportunity to kind of talk about your guys' well, I don't know if it's a friendship at this point, but your history, I guess. So, does either of you want to kind of explain how you guys know each other before I fucking just pick Gordon?
Um,
All right, Gordon, how
Uh,
do you know Gloria?
I knew her through one of my friends, but
Uh-huh.
yeah. What?
I
Well,
mean, wait, why are you beating around the bush? Just say it. You can just why?
you know more than I do, Gloria. So you can.
What do you mean? I think you knew. Okay, all right. You want the real version or like the? I mean, not the real version, but you want like the detailed version or like the?
Yeah,
All
sure.
the details that matter. Whether I'll leave it up to your judgment. But give us something
Um.
spicy.
Well, Gordon is my ex boyfriend's childhood best friend.
Ah.
But after he broke up with me, but it's
Ooh,
whatever.
oh, oh.
No. Gordon and I are still friends. Everything's good. There's no tea anywhere in that. But like Gordon and I are still friends after that. So
It's just
Gotcha.
crazy that my best friend had to pick the neediest, bitchiest girl at that
Whoa,
school.
you
whoa,
motherfucker. At
whoa.
least I've dated someone recently who I don't think would say that about me.
Holy shit!
It's so
Damn,
crazy.
I don't know if you guys are friends. Holy shit. Okay, well,
Jesus Christ.
with that as the precursor to the interview, um, Gordo, as you are the blue team representative, you do get to fire the first shot, although shots have already been fired. But what does this mean? What does this game mean to you? And how are you going to look to exact revenge upon the absolute shit talk that you just received?
Well, we're not even treating this as a real game. We're treating this like we're playing intermediate bots. We're gonna practice new comps, new champions. Because as her name implies, she's easy, right? Both in the game and IRL. So what is there to worry
Oh
about?
my god.
Alright, two things there. One, it's fucking needs to learn some Chinese if you are Chinese. Number two, you're so fucking courageous out on the rift, but IRL, you wouldn't say half the shit you say to me. One, because I'm a girl and you're a fucking simp, Gordon, don't deny it. And two, I could beat you up any day.
Oh
I
my god. I don't know,
Cause
guys.
I would
This might be a little bit too toxic. Holy shit.
no,
Hey.
I would not simp for you, Gloria. I don't think
but you'd
anyone
simp
would.
for anything else.
Yeah, I'd simp for most guys before you, honestly.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, you simp for Chungus all the time.
Oh, damn.
Of course, it's Chungus.
It's just
He's a
because you're
fucking
fucking
legend.
jealous of me.
Okay. Let's bring some
Andrew,
order.
I thought this is what you wanted.
No,
We're trying to ham it up for you.
no. This is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted to actually ask you a question, because I know you're getting in all these shots. So, for your guys' team, sitting right now in sixth place, but a couple of really good games played by you guys, and with a potential win here, could really start contesting for even the at this point, even the second seed as well. So what does this game represent to you, both personally and from a team perspective?
Team perspective, it's just like any other game. We're gonna go in there, do our thing, be respectful. For me personally, you know what Gordon said to me before this game? I'm not toxic naturally.
Right.
This motherfucker said to me that he was gonna come and kill me every single game that we played against each other. This is not unprompted toxicity. You know what he sent me today? He sent me a TikTok that said, "You're a bitch. You don't deserve. You're taking up other people's air." This motherfucker is the most toxic person I've ever met in my entire life. And if we weren't friends, I would totally try to get him permaban.
I'm only toxic to people that deserve it.
Oh, I think I can say that, but you're fucking toxic to everyone. Don't bring that shit up here. You're spitting lies now. Don't come at me like that.
Holy
Okay.
fuck.
Calm down,
With
Eagle.
all due respect to Kevin, I think this might be our best interview yet. There is so much animosity between these
Kevin
two
is the
friends.
king. Kevin is the king. Kevin is the king.
I know,
Is-
but this, man, we might just have you guys come up on the interview desk every single time, regardless of who's playing, and just see who comes out in the shit talk game. Wow. Okay, well, with that setting the table for this clash, I will let you guys go back to your teams and get ready for what promises to be an exciting
Oh,
matchup
you already left.
in whatever the outcome. Maybe we might have to get both of you guys back on the post game desk. So,
Awesome. Hey, how you doing? Josh asked me to come cast for you. Also, I'm here.
oh, okay, awesome. So yeah, we'll give him a minute here. Looks like everybody here is in the lobby. Okay, so in addition to Chungus co-casting tonight, we are also joined by one ravishing Ravish. Give us a little bit of an introduction, if you don't mind.
Sure, man. Hey, what's going on? I go by Ravishing Ravish as the most ravishing man on the internet. I've been casting since about May of last year. I've been doing the league since I think just around June for the SGC and been part of the AMC for quite a long time. Most recently, I was a host for the UGP Scouting Ground Tier 1 tournament, which is a lot of fun. Actually, yeah, it's really solid team. So excited for that. And I've done casted for like a fair amount of games. I did Among Us once, and that was shit. But besides that, yeah, that was great.
Sounds fun. Awesome. Well, happy to have you on the desk. How much did Joshi tell you about what we're trying to do here with this in-house
Not a
tournament?
damn thing.
Well, this will be a good refresher, and hopefully we have some new viewers in the chat that can benefit from this as well. But we are currently about 75% of the way through what we call the Do It Big Invitational. We're currently in season 2. We did season 1 back in December, but it's just a collection of 40 friends that are all coming together to play quality League of Legends. So each team has been drafted by one of 8 captains, and so the goal here being to get a mix of personalities of people, and not just have 5 good friends roll up with their 5 stack and do their own thing. We want to make sure this is like a balanced environment, and we want to create a positive environment for players to come together to play League, to improve both personally and as a team. And yeah, so we are about to round into we're currently in the second to final week here of a 14-game regular season. It's been a double round robin. So each of these games has a lot of weight because the top 6 teams will make the playoffs, and Double Jungle Gap here are on the bubble at 4 and 6, currently in that 6th seed. All right. Anyways,
Wait.
we can get ready to start. Sorry. All right. So currently in this specific game, we have on the left-sided team, blue side, Andyland here has been running away with the league thus far at 10 and 2. So with one more win here, they will for sure lock up the number 1 seed, as each other team can at best finish at 10 and 4. They're already at 10 and 2, so one more win will lock that up for them. And as I mentioned earlier, Double Jungle Gap here have had a bit of a tumultuous season, have gone through a couple of roster swaps, but their past 2 games I think have been really, really good. So looking to build off that momentum and solidify themselves in the playoff picture, and maybe even contest for one of the higher seeds. So the playoff tournament here, or playoff format, the top 2 seeds will get buys, and the next 4 will get seeded into the quarterfinals.
All right. Sounds like there's a lot on the line. Sounds very, very exciting. I'm simply here to understand this game and, like, you know what, flame Josh as much as I can because I would like that very much.
Okay.
Kind of, just also just and but of course to watch a fantasy, of course to watch some exciting League of Legends as it will be. So because just recently, remember Josh was talking about us about his previous game where he was down 10k gold, suddenly came back down. What was it like? He was on the top. He's 1-6. Telling me all about this macro game. So I'm like, all right, excited to see it firsthand and how he really pulls off these wins.
Yeah. Andyland here just throughout the season, I think, have been really on top of their playstyles, their macro calls. Have a couple of strong decision makers in, as you mentioned, Joshi and I think Mr. Chunks as well. So they've been really
Mm-hmm.
cohesive as a unit. Um, Not to take anything away from their individual play, but I think their team play has been one of the best in the league. And they always have a couple of tricks up their sleeves as well. So will be interesting to see what Andyland decided to pull out here.
I mean, so far considering on the other end for the double juggling gap that you mentioned, right? Look, Sheffield Misfortune already super strong combination. Sheffield with the I'm assuming with the double flex going either bot, ADC, or triple flex, honestly, going support. But with that Leona lock in, that could mean a different picture at the other end with the Nivea Grays and Tristan top. Now, Josh is weird. That being Joshi's overall player pool is that because I know he can flex that Graves because that doesn't necessarily mean that it is going jungle. He could probably bring that top depending on the matchup that he has. So far things are it is interesting. I still be hope for me that because there's an Anivia that we get to see like a Poppy or like a Tilly even, so we can see like the slam dunk type combo, which I like to
Mm,
call
yeah.
just wall slam. That'd be a lot of fun. How about you, man?
Yeah. Well, again, with Andyland here, I think they're more or less confirmed as the number one seed, so they've been trying stuff out. Last night, as you alluded to, they tried out this split pushing comp where they really just played only to kill towers. Ended up finishing the game with 6 kills and the kill score being 6 to 27 in favor of the other team. So I just want to see if they come up with some really wackadoodle combos or compositions. Thus far seems to be the makings of a pretty generic comp. With Anivia being locked in here, it's probably going to go in the mid lane, which will preclude Tristana from going there, which
Mm-hmm.
is played by Mr. Chunks. So we'll have to see if they throw some wrenches into the works here with these last two picks. Meanwhile,
Hmm.
for double jungle gap, ooh, a Nunu being locked in here, but it's a pretty straightforward comp thus far. Misfortune, Seraphine, Leona, all with pretty easy to execute teamfight ultimates. This Nunu pick though
Mm-hmm.
is a little bit interesting to me because it has a lot of variance in what they can do in the early game. So we're gonna see how he tries to take advantage of the map state. Nunu obviously
Mm-hmm.
a very strong counter jungler, but can also just chain gank on cooldown. Ooh.
Oh yeah, literally. But Nunu's actually so good in this, considering how mobile, especially picks like Nivea can be, and even the Graves at a point, if his dash is down, he can literally just run them down to a certain point in time as well. And a Nivea with no flash is honestly just dead. Because so, like you mentioned before, just the chain potential, just chain ganking potential of a Nunu
Mm-hmm.
is kind of sick,
Yeah.
which I'm personally excited for. So the other day picking the Gragas. All right, this is they're putting a lot. I find already on the Tristana to actually pop off for the main sustained damage along with the Graves as well. So a
Ooh.
lot of eggs in their basket. Meanwhile, matched on the other end with that vein. That has to be in vein top.
Yep,
There's
that is
no way
Vayne
it's
top.
not vein top.
Yep, it
That's
is.
so sick. Let's go.
Okay, so we do have that Vayne locked in here as the final pick in the hands of Daddy No Chill. I know for a fact that Ryan here on this Vayne has been itching to play AD carry, which is his natural role, but has filled in admirably as Double Jungle Gap's top laner. So getting his hands on an AD carry up against this top lane Gragas, we'll have to keep an eye on this matchup. If he is able to get through this early game, should have a good time up against this composition. Not a whole lot of guaranteed lockdown coming out
Mhm.
from Andyland, so keep an eye on that. All right, Chungus, haven't heard from you in a minute, but now with both of these comps locked in, which comp do you like?
I actually think Andyland's comp is better for 5v5s. So you pick the Vayne to play front to back. You have double front line. You have your supportive mid laner. But I think the fact is Triss with Yuumi is going to be doing more than Vayne. Triss is also hyper carry, scales really well. Graves scales really well, and you have your Anivia for the zone control, and also I think does a lot more damage than the Seraphine, where Seraphine's more for utility.
Right.
But they don't really have any access to backline, even if they hit it with Seraphine ult. So I think Andyland actually wins front to back.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that because, as you mentioned, if Tristana does get into this late game here, the range is going to start mattering. But at least in the early to mid game, before Tristana gets too many levels from her passive and increases her range, should put herself in the firing line with the bullet time, with the Encore over the top, potentially some solar flares on top as well. So yeah, I think definitely scaling wise, it's going to be really hard to beat Tristana, Yuumi, Nivea in the late game. But at least in the early game here, I really am interested to see how Nunu can snowball his team into a potential lead.
Yeah, I think the lane we definitely watch out for is top lane with the Vayne. D4 ADC main, so see if you can player diff the rest of these players.
Indeed, indeed. Okay. Real quick as well, Ravish, one thing we like to do here is put a prediction in the Twitch chat for every single game. So let's quickly talk about that. Early returns thus far. Ooh, okay, just gonna slightly dip in favor of double jungle gap, but so far very, very even, although not that many points have been put up yet this game. So right now about 50-50. So let's see if we can get some late money moving here. Considering these champions, Ravish, with not too much knowledge about the player histories outside of Joshi, who is your money on this game?
Oh, immediately I'm gonna have to put it on Andyland. Like it's just I present obviously no bias to any of these teams, but look at the competition right now. If they have the audacity to pick a Yuumi in 2021, I'm sure they must have some sort of plan on the back other than mine. Right? Look, so far because the way that I'm seeing right now with the Gragas along with the Graves too, they have some slots staying in good DPS with the Tristana acting as a main front line. Now with the Nivea Tristana as well with some really good scale and acting as Yuumi, so they already have engaged. A lot of questions for me are going to be centered around how well the Graves can actually out jungle the Nunu. Number one, I think number two is going to be if the Gragas is going to be able to survive and get out of top lane, being even up against the Vayne, because ADC versus tank doesn't work out too well, especially early on. That Vayne is going to have absolute perma push. So as long as he doesn't get solo killed in lane, I think he's going to be doing okay in this Anivia as well too. So a lot of what I'm looking around is once they get to the 20-minute mark, what kind of power spikes are they going to be hitting? Because you see on the other end for double jungle gap, they don't want to let that happen. They want to make sure that they're able to snowball the lead early on, to considering how much of the comp actually does need to be able to hit that just a 2-item power spike. So want to see them be a lot more proactive in that early game.
Yeah, definitely. Although speaking of a potential perma shove coming in from Vayne versus Gragas, obviously in the 1v1 Gragas will lose out by nature of the range versus melee matchup, but has a lot of potential setup here for a potential Graves gank. So we'll see if Andyland here are going to put a lot of jungle attention towards the top lane to try to keep this Vayne down. Okay, but we are going to load into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it will be Andyland on blue side, double jungle gap on red side. Andyland with not a whole lot to play for, but double jungle gap with all to play for. That being said, stakes or not, a lot of personal ego riding on this game. Gordo Lee and me Yeezy giving us the pleasure of that spicy pregame interview, which will mean that depending on the outcome, we're gonna get a lot of banter afterwards. Alright, gonna be an early invade coming out here from Nunu, and actually gonna have to flash over the wall, otherwise would have eaten that flash frost. So early win here for Andyland. Nunu without his flash, unfortunately stuttered forward there. Going to mean that just one less tool to potentially find a successful gank.
I mean, plus they already got the War of the Red buff now too, so they're gonna be able to figure out his pathing. And of course, with the Graves starting there on top side, man, You know what would be actually so smart here? I think if Graves actually goes down, pulls a super dangerous play. Oh wait, never mind. Because I was gonna say, if he starts on Nunu's blue, it would be insanely greedy, and of course, with lack of vision, he would likely die for it. But look at this! You know what? With this, now Nunu's gonna start on bot side because he knows there's no wards there to it. Considering they have to ward the red side, they have to know he started their bot. So already setting up a little bit what could be some lateral jungling for both of these players, but I'm liking this so far. The mind game's coming out.
Yeah. So both junglers gonna be starting on opposite sides here, and I think you just called it. Nunu here actually stopped. What's going on here? Nunu taking some time here before going back to his romp. I wonder if that was a bit of a technical issue, but as it stands here, Graves is going to do that vertical jungling, as you mentioned, Bravish, going to start on Nunu's red buff. Let's see if Nunu is aware. With this ward, we'll be able to spot this ward coming down, but if he's not panned over there, might be able to miss it and not recognize this vertical jungling scenario. Ping's now coming in though onto the red buff as Vayne is going to discover Graves counter jungling away, but Graves is able to just quick draw over the wall. So Nunu now going to take this time to run into Graves bot side jungle and return the favor. We're going to start here on the Raptor camp, however, and with Graves racing over, there will be a meeting of the junglers at Graves' red buff.
This is an interesting take by him because he also started by the Raptors, like you mentioned. There, Roger. So he decides to go for a little bit of greedy play. Doesn't take the.
Hold on, Graves here going to find Nunu. The new duel is going to start, and there is a first rotation coming in from a flashless Nunu. This will be first blood handed over to Tristana, as well as a blue buff. So, double jungle gap here being punished for this aggressive invade coming out from Nunu. Good early game rotations and macro coming out from the Kings of Macro in Andyland.
They had to have known that was going to happen, right? Considering if they knew he was starting with Raptors, he knew it was going to go path down to the bot side, choose to take Raptors instead, and leaving that buff away as well. I mean, interesting take, but Nunu's clear speed isn't amazing. It's not like you're a hacker anymore, like an OD, right, at that point. So, I mean, questionable decision across the board, but now when this Nunu gets 3 buffed, he's already he's likely to be down a level.
Hold on, gonna be a good Tristana going aggressive. You're gonna jump in with a rocket jump, and now gonna eat a Leona stun as well. Tristana going to about 40% HP, but does have the Yuumi healing, and now Graves is here. Red buff auto's gonna land onto Leona. Leona taking to about 30% HP. Misfortune trying to give it as good as she gets it, but gonna be ignited here as well. Should live through all that. So double jungle gap going to come out with their lives in this 2v3 scenario, which is gonna favor Nunu here, who despite the early death in the invade has now resumed the invade, knowing that Graves is on the bot side, going to take away both the wolves and the gromp. So Nunu with some good play here. Crucially as well, for double jungle gap, able to preserve their summoners in that extended gank. So good play coming out, going to mean that Nunu should be able to level up that jungle EXP difference. There is that Gromp taken away. Greg is just going to spot it. Oh my goodness, don't take that recall there. Okay, gonna walk out. But yeah.
All right, like you mentioned, really important stuff that we able to preserve the jungler, preserve the sums too. But with the back end right now at this moment, a dragon coming up in just a couple of seconds, you know, bot should be able to push the wave and possibly help on Graves. So just come down to the dragon, but Graves now as well doing a little bit of counter jungling himself, taking away like those wolves. He's actually waiting for it to come down, possibly collapse onto him too, but Nunu's also on his way.
All right, Nunu
with his entire
Graves. Ooh, gonna be a smite, smiting too early from the Graves. Gonna mean that Nunu takes away the Gromp and now can potentially find a snare as well. Graves does have phase rush, gonna be trying to race away. Yuumi and Tristana are here as well. So, I don't think Nunu is going to go too much more on this, and with resets coming in for both bot lanes, going to be business as usual once again. Okay, Chungus, what do you think should be the game plans for double jungle gap here? Hold on, Tristana now going to jump, as I asked, Tristana going to jump in, Exhaust going to come down on the Misfortune as well, but Tristana is actually going to go very, very low. You're going to jump again, but one more auto going to be able to lock that one up, and now Yuumi is going to be wondering why her Yordle just ran it down. To double kill for me, Yeezy, fueled by her absolute hatred for Gordo Lee, going to be able to turn around a very over-aggressive Tristana.
I mean, she cleansed that too. right at the last second. It's a interesting decision than where they had to push the bot side where it was even. Now Dragon is there as well, so first strike across the board for double jungle gaps. So solid starts after a little bit of a rough early game for that Nunu, like you mentioned before, able to pick that back up is already 10 CS ahead of the Graves now too, and the Dragon on the board for him is now level up as well. Shout out double jungle gap for picking the way back up. I like what I'm seeing, Roger.
Yeah, good play coming out from the bot lane of double jungle gap. So we'll see if that lead continues to grow. Obviously, again, Tristana and Yuumi, both wonderful scaling options. So double jungle gap here still need to be aware of Tristana as she approaches her level 6 power spike. With that buster shot, going to be a lot of burst that can potentially come out.
Yeah, I think crucially looking at top lane, Vayne's actually down about a full wave of CS to the Gragas. And I guess Nunu playing Nunu should be ganking, but mostly just farming and playing it as a farming till 6 champ. I think it's okay based on how bot lane's going, but I think trying to play more around Vayne is going to be a win condition.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see here what Nunu decides to do if he can really get himself into some of these lanes. As it stands, as you mentioned, no ganks coming out just yet, but still a lot of game left here.
Not too bad so far, and the overall top lane gap is not exactly what it would to be right here, Roger, because so far up against the Vayne Gragas matchup too, Josh seems to be doing pretty okay. He did a 7 CS lead as well and is farming quite well. Already picked himself up that Thornmail. But going to be spotted on top side, taking his red as well. The Navy is pathing up towards top side as
Gragas
well.
now going to go very low here. Eats 1 silver bolt proc, not going to be 2. Would have been 1 more auto necessary for that one. But now there is a Yuumi in the mid lane up against the Seraphine. And Seraphine just walks in a little bit. Let's see if the flash cross comes through. There it is. Going to be canceled out a little bit by the Encore. But Seraphine going to go very, very low here. Unfortunately, not enough burst coming out from this Anivia, who is a little bit low on mana. Going to mean just a trade of some summoners for a very big cooldown in the Encore. So not all is lost here for either team.
Yeah, nice flash for Arena to just go ahead at least sort of survive that trade too, like you mentioned as well. And Navy at that point just does not have the damage to be able to just burst down the Seraphine like that either, right? So it's tough for them considering he only has a tier on with Doran's Ring 2. Not going to be able to do much as it really Yara, especially with the nerfs that came out for the Anivia ult as well. Expanding that ult is going to take so long, especially the early mana cost there right at the beginning. It would be so tough for her to get much done at all.
Yep. It's going to mean here that as we round into the mid game, Nunu taking away this Rift Herald will be interesting to see how Double Jungle Gap decides to use that. But the kill lead going to mean the majority of the gold lead here for Double Jungle Gap, about 1,000 gold ahead, courtesy of that Misfortune double kill. Now we're going to see that gank in the top lane, but Nunu unfortunately cannot drive the snowball. And actually, wow, going to be too close to Gragas to be knocked in by that explosive cast. Would have put Nunu in a lot of danger. It would have knocked him into the tower. But as it stands, going to mean that Gragas is without that engage tool for a potential gank coming in. Okay. Nunu here, gonna curiously drop Rift Herald in the mid lane as Seraphine does have an early push, but this is a generally low value Rift Herald. Could have held it for a potential dragon fight, which will be coming up in about 90 seconds, but as it stands, going to mean that the Rift Herald is going to be used to just pick up the 2 tower plates, so 320 gold, not too much. Meanwhile, both junglers here very interested in taking away each other's jungle. We saw Graves unfortunately arrive just a little bit late, and now Nunu going to try to return the favor by taking away the Gromp. But looks like Graves, with the help of Gragas, will be able to get that one back.
Not bad at all for him too, because yet again they're very scrappy style so far within the overall jungle, and Josh is also passing down as well to actually help out that jungle trade, but ends up. Not much at all, but a very scrappy play stuff from both of these teams. Considering it's still so even between both of them, it's only about just a 2k gold lead, and most of that who's coming there from the bot side as well. So nothing too bad. Now, all I really want to see so far is for the side, of Andyland, is just for them to be able to slow that game for a little bit, and I want to see Graves have a bit more presence on the map because, like you mentioned before, Roger, he just hasn't been able to get up and really successful ganks just trying to make up at his farm game.
Okay, now though, gonna potentially find it. Ooh, the flash also gonna go wide. Will mean that Seraphine is gonna have to charm the Graves to get away from this game. Oh, but not gonna be enough. The collateral damage plus the what's the Q called against? End of the line. All right. Anyways, this is gonna mean that Seraphine goes down at the second time of asking, even through the encore, and it's going to mean as well that Andyland are in a good position to potentially contest for the second dragon of the game. Despite their mid laner going down, however, going to be double jungle gap that start up on this with the confidence that Nunu Consume plus Smite going to be enough to burst this dragon quickly and get out. And it looks like that will be the case. So double jungle gap here will race out to a 2-0 dragon lead, still maintaining a gold lead despite Seraphine going down as well.
I mean, yeah, because at that point, too, consider they also had bot push as well, and it is Yumi Tristana to you. Tristana is also at that point where, like you mentioned before, can just burst at any of her targets too. Her range also isn't up there as well, which is one of the downsides of having Tristana as well, right? Because she needs to be able to climb more of the levels to become like a real ADC. You know what I mean?
Gonna jump in yet again. Gonna immediately flash back out from a potential Zenith blade landing. Some questionable plays coming out from Mr. Chunks on this Tristana. Not as maybe not as comfortable with it as Joshi was yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit questionable. Really aggressive plays. They think Chunks is overestimating the potential of what a Tristana can do, especially when you don't have an item to your name yet. But I respect it. Brazen.
Meanwhile, Nunu gonna faceplant into the Anivia wall. This Nunu, without being able to find any successful ganks, has thus far really fallen behind here. Graves now level 8, Nunu still at level 7. Still no kill participation to his name outside of his own death in the early game. Meanwhile, Vayne here going to condemn Graves into the wall, but is in a 1v2 scenario, so maybe a little bit of skill check going to come out here, but needs to be careful. Gragas has both Flash and the Explosive Cask available, so here we go. Let's see if it happens. Oh my goodness, this Vayne, though, now going to go into a 1v2 scenario, going to be in a 1v3 scenario. I see Flash is way too early. Vayne going to come out here, try to buy some more time, condemn Van Gragas into the wall, going to mean that Vayne is going to be able to live in this 1v3 scenario with the use of both of her summoners, but I don't know if that was the best decision here coming out from Daddy No Chill. Definitely could have just walked away instead of contesting the already dead control ward, but maybe just showing here to Andyland that he is a force to be reckoned with if he is left unchecked.
So that Roger too, what it looked like too, that was also just a late call coming in for from the IGL of Andyland as well, which I'm assuming Josh probably made the call to actually dive in onto the Vayne because they saw what the wave was and likely knew it wasn't near them either.
Right.
So decide, all right, cool, we could probably go in on this, but then, you know, study what happens. The call comes out late, Vayne's already pathed down, and with Josh not being there, and then Gordo coming a little bit late as well too. All these split calls just ending up in Vayne getting away, but it looked good there for a couple of seconds. If executed early, just could enough have been a kill.
Yeah. Okay, so all of that is going to mean that this is still a 2-2 game, even in the kill department. The gold lead is ever so slightly decreasing here, now down to about 500, still in favor of double jungle gap. Meanwhile, Nunu here is camping in the bush, not going to be spotted, but Andyland do have an inkling that there is a Yeti around. The snowball going to come through now, but ooh, the rocket shot I think just got canceled there. She'll have the reset once he gets one more auto down onto the Nunu. Now Nunu's going to be overextended. Solo play, they're going to land on Tristana. Going to be a Zenith play coming over the top as well. Where is the bullet time? Going to be enough here to pick up the Tristana. The Anivia is here in the back line. Going to be charged by the Encore. Going to be forced to flash away here. All 4 members of Double Jungle Gap are living, but just barely. Only Simone here is healthy. Seraphine going to be forced to flash away from the wall as well, and now it's going to be a 1-for-1 when all is said and done. Tristana going to go down for Andyland, Leona for Double Jungle Gap, but that was a really aggressive, I think, overcommit in all honesty by Double Jungle Gap in the bottom side jungle.
Yeah, they traded all sums for all sums from the 4 members that attended, so that's actually, I think, pretty good for Andyland, because they do have a little more zone control and have the flashes up.
Alright, Nivea here going to be able to get on top of Seraphine. Does have a good amount of burst here. Seraphine needs to walk away from this.
One more Q!
Yeah, another round of the Flash Frostbite would have been enough to take down Seraphine, but now with Anivia a little bit low on mana will mean Seraphine should be able to pick up the rest of this wave near her tower.
yet again, like it's just so many close calls just so far from both these teams. Like I'm just tensing myself to see that once just a one big blowout actually happens between both of them, like how it's going to go down. Because so far, Andyland just does seem to have a bit more proactiveness in the skirmishes, which I wanted to see more for Double Jungle Gap, but they're still going to maintain their lead, but it is shortening so far. But on the side of Double Jungle Gap, though, they are being a lot more proactive when it comes to these neutral objectives, which we've seen that really making up for the lack of which early on. Like considering they've been able to get the Rift Herald along with both dragons so far, with the next one coming up basically soon too, we should see Andyland make a play for this.
My frames? What's happening to the frames? Is it low FPS? It's fine on my screen. Did something happen?
Looks pretty good. I don't know.
Okay. Meanwhile, going to be Dragon claimed here by Andy, and it looks like Double Jungle Gap with the 2-Dragon lead going to opt now for the top lane tower take, which will mean that the first tower of the game will be picked up by Double Jungle Gap, as well as some nice gold in the hands of Vayne. And Greg is going to actually body roll in here. Not going to land onto the Vayne. Vayne, meanwhile, going to escort the Rift Herald down for the second charge. So the Dragon lead here closed to 1-2. One Ocean Dragon now in the hands of Andyland. Looks like Leona here going to try to find a Zenith play, not going to land. Tristana's jump's going to rocket jump away. Got to keep an eye here on. Hold on. Ooh, there's a very aggressive solar flood coming out from Leona, because I think they are not aware. Oh, hold on, there's a teleport coming in now from Gragas. Got to be on the run as Graves is coming in from the top side as well. I don't know about this one. Miss Fortune going to go down, going to be a shutdown handed over to Graves, and now the Leona going to be knocked in as well. If you are Double Jungle Gap, you got to be wondering there about that decision to engage on Tristana so close to her turret. Really curious play coming out from the northwest on this Leona, going to result in a double kill handed over to Andyland. And now, oh no, Nunu going to be stuck between the wall and a hard place. Encore going to come over the top, but Nunu's already dead here. Graves going to smite away the blue buff as well, and now Vayne is going to be locked up. Should be a dead Vayne in short order. Going to try to flash the safety, but a couple more autos from Graves will be able to pick it up. Looks like Gragas, though, unfortunately, going to be far too... Oh my goodness, this is so close. Vayne now going to tumble back in. There is a Yuumi here trying to provide some sustain for Andyland, and it will still end up just being that 2-for-0, the bot lane here of Double Jungle Gap going down. That was, as well as, actually it's 3-for-0. Nunu went down as well. Vayne almost picking up a kill onto Gragas and Graves.
That was a way saw skirmish coming off the side of Andyland too. You mentioned before about the over-aggression going onto the Tristana. Although the play looked good, considering it was a 2v1, the Tristana already backed off, and I believe at the point she did have the rocket jump too. So she used the solar flare at the point, considering they knew that all the movement was down for the Tristana. They would likely be able to aggress onto her if the Xenoblade landed right at the end, because Leona were able to catch up, and then coming along from the side.
Hold on, Graves going to run into Leona here. Solar flare now going to be back up over the top. Snowball going to try to lock down Graves as well. Graves going to go very low. Going to be handed over to
Shutdown.
Yeah, shutdown handed over to Leona. So gonna be some oh my goodness, hold on in the mid lane now. Tristana gonna be jumping back in, but there is a misfortune here over the top. Vayne gonna go down so fast, so much burst coming out from the explosive shot plus the buster shot from Tristana, going to mean that Vayne's first kill participation is her own death after a couple of almost kills. But Tristana gonna go low here, which means that Misfortune is able to at least take the mid tier 1 in return. Couple of really weird fights, I think, coming out in this mid game for no particular purpose other than to fight. Chungus, what do you make of what's been going on here in the past 2 to 3 minutes?
I think both teams just not really knowing macro-wise what to do right now with no dragon up and almost not many objectives, no Rift Herald, no dragon, so they're just kind of walking around the map and picking people, whoever they find.
Yeah. It's going to mean here that with the now kill lead in favor of Andyland, they are going to have a meager gold lead, basically even, as there is a little bit of superior tower gold in the hands of Double Jungle Gap, 2 towers to 1, including the first tower of the game. So going to be a very even game state as we prepare for a potential soul point dragon in 80 seconds. And in this even game state, with these item buys that you see coming in, who do you favor in a potential 5v5 at dragon?
Honestly, I think it's pretty balanced. I think Vayne has been playing decently well, narrowly avoiding escape, and I think if Vayne can kite it out properly and not get focused down and burst, that I think double jungle gap actually looks stronger for this dragon.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, we had to keep an eye on this Vayne thus far. 177 CS, sitting on the Immortal Shield Bow, plus the makings of maybe a Phantom Dancer. Will be interesting to see what she goes with this Zeal. But yeah, if she is left unattended, then she can get in a lot of damage. But as we saw earlier, Yuumi and Tristana with a lot of burst, even through the barrier, I think Vayne did go down. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Graves here going to push with the help of Yuumi for some vision. Going to be forced to back off now as Ocean Dragon is available in 15 seconds. Leona, this is not good. You do not want to be clearing this ward right now. Oh my god, one more auto going to be able to take that one down, but going to potentially be punishable. Anivia here is a little bit separated from the rest of her team. There is a Gragas here. Let's see if the Encore comes through. It could be a massive engage tool for double jungle gap, or if they're going to use it more as a counter engage once the explosive cast comes in.
Oh no.
Vayne a little bit sticking her head out. This is a good choke point for both teams. The smoke screen going to be able to do a lot as well, but double jungle gap, you're going to be zoned away. It's going to be this Ocean Dragon going to go very, very low. Going to be taken down here by Gragas, and now let's see if the fight breaks out in earnest. Soulfire going to come over the top. Leona already flashing out here, going to go very, very low, but a huge bullet time over the top means Gragas has to go golden. Now going to be a jump here onto Tristana. It will be the first casualty. Nunu will be traded though in return. Let's see if Vayne is able to get the bonus move speed from her passive. No, we'll have to walk through that Glacial Storm, which will mean that when all is said and done, we'll end up being a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, Vayne actually going to go way too aggressive. Going to eat the stun here coming in from the Anivia. Now Gragas is going to go very, very low, but Misfortune is stuck on the wrong side of this fight. Graves is going to be able to solo her out. Leona going to fall as well. All of a sudden, this is going very, very south for double jungle gap. Overextending here going to mean that Graves picks up a triple kill, which when as we take a look at the overall results, going to be 4-for-1 plus a dragon for Andyland.
Yeah, I think the fight was won, but Vayne kind of just you go in, keep walking, keep chasing, and then gets caught and causes the fight to be completely lost in a huge gold swing going over to Andyland now.
Yep. I think this has been one of the criticisms here of Double Jungle Gap is Daddy No Chilled has a tendency to just over-aggress and force plays that he has no business making, especially on the Vayne. Cannot start a fight on his own terms, needs to coordinate with the rest of his team. And we also saw that the power of fighting in a chokehold, Anivia with that Glacial Storm really prevents Double Jungle Gap from getting out of that blue side entrance. Means that they were able to disengage after the initial burst coming in from Misfortune Seraphine.
I mean, and honestly, a lot of the fight too I find was attributed to Gordo too, because he even set up that little return going in onto Daddy No Chill as well, considering
hold on, Gragas, you're gonna find Leona, gonna be the Zenith Blade landing as well. Vayne is here. The explosive gas gonna try to be used to disengage, but now the Soulfire gonna lock Gragas up again. No Hourglass Tissa, gonna mean that he goes down. Now Tristana and Yuumi have to run for the hills. The main tank of Andyland is down here. Graves here, they're gonna feel themselves. Tristana now gonna jump back in, gonna be immediately condemned into the wall. The Absolute Zero over the top, gonna try to lock her down, but Tristana able to get away with the help of the rocket jump over the wall. Now Vayne gonna go down to this Graves. This Graves doing so much damage. Misfortune now gonna try to lock down the Anivia, gonna be stunned up by the Flash Frost, will mean that he goes down. And now all of a sudden, Andyland again finding another 4-for-1, soon to be 5-for-1, courtesy of the Graves, who is now at 8-1-5 with the dead members here on Double Jungle Gap. It's going to translate into a Baron as well. So this Tristana really limit testing here, and the Yuumi going to do enough to keep the Yordle alive for backup to arrive.
Now, Roger, if I remember, the one thing you said when we got our draft as well was that we wanted to see the front to back for this team. Right? We wanted to see the front to back, like a solid 5v5 team fight from Double Jungle Gap. Right there, that did not happen. They were so split up with being on two different sides of the wall, too. They were able to focus on any one single target, because although Mr. Chunks went in with Yuumi as well, they had CC2 go and back it up along with Paul there at the side, because you even said it before. He's just so strong, and none of them have the tank to back it up. And considering on the other end, like as well, like you saw Gordo leads with the combat back, locked on so many people that Chill was locked up, or the Thunder was able to make any difference across, and then even with Misfortune trying to do something, just the damage was not there. And just a beautiful cleanup coming out from Andyland. Yeah, man, this game is rough.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good bait from Tristana. Jumped in, flashed back out. Unfortunately, the condemn, I don't think it knocked Tristana into the bush, and the action ward didn't come down fast enough to get the lockdown, which means that after Tristana flashed over the wall, was just free firing. And now we're gonna be careful here because Vayne is starting onto the crab, and now it's gonna be a 1v1 between Trist and Vayne. But Vayne actually with the oh my goodness, Vayne gonna handily win that duel courtesy of the Immortal Shield Bow plus the final hour. Gonna mean that this time the Tristana limit test will be a fail.
Yeah, not strong enough just yet. That's still a Vayne that you have to deal with, right? And Vayne also has a Vamp Scepter on her too. It's, although they may see even in terms of items, but like just a Silver Bolt proc to just do so much damage. And like you mentioned there too, that shield bow taking away a stupid amount of health. Sorry, giving her a stupid amount of shield at that point. So it was nice, but like you said there, Roger, all the limit testing had to end at one point.
Yeah, okay, so it's going to mean though Tristana is alive here as the third ocean dragon of the game is now officially spawned. Obviously this will put either team on Ocean Soul Point, but thus far we've seen a reluctance from Double Jungle Gap to participate or initiate a 5v5. And Andyland there with the confidence has taken away 2 Ocean Dragons now without really a hint of a contest. Let's see if Double Jungle Gap here are a little bit more emboldened. Nunu though meanwhile going to be stuck behind the wall though, but there is an Encore over the top, going to land just onto Gragas. Unfortunately, bullet time over the top though, going to do a good amount of work, but already the Yuumi Graves going to be able to find Seraphine on the side. Nunu already going very low as well. Look at that, holy shit, that is Infinity Edge on Graves. The 3 item power spike from Graves going to take 80% of Misfortune's health in one shot, and now Vayne is on the run. Explosive Cat's going to knock Nunu and Graves into the wall. Vayne going to try to give it as good as she gets it, but there is a Graves here. This is just a Grave show. Gonna be, oh my god, it was almost a delayed penta. Tristana gonna pick up the last kill, but this Graves is completely out of control. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the game now for Andyland, as that is gonna be the fight that really starts breaking the base open of Double Jungle Gap.
Yeah, Seraphine only gets a one-man ult onto the Gragas when the backline's all lined up. I think just a small mechanical mistake that really cost him the whole fight.
Yep. Seraphine ultimate here has really not been used to its full potential, I don't think. We haven't really seen Arena Thunder here try to use her allies as a conduit to increase that range. Instead has been trying to hit the closest enemy champion, which is Gragas, and Gragas is more than happy to tank that up if it means the rest of his team can get in and start DPSing. So still potential ways to come back for Double Jungle Gap, courtesy of the scaling that is Vayne, but it's going to be really hard because Vayne putting herself in range of Graves will mean Graves will just 2-shot her back, even through the Immortal Shield Bow.
Man, he's just so strong right now. It's absolutely insane. One of the main ways to really only see Double Jungle Gap possibly coming back into this was if they just need to be able to set up just a more advantageous team fight where if they're able to, like you mentioned before, get a decent Seraphine ult on the back line of Andyland, that means they need to lock down Mr. Chunks to make short. Oh!
Be found out by Gragas, going to try to kite for her life, but there's Tristana Yuumi as well, and that'll be a dead Vayne shortly. This Gragas is so tanky. Good night to Vayne yet again, unfortunately for Daddy No Chill. Meanwhile, for Andyland, gonna now give them even more momentum to start on a potential push into, looks like the top lane gonna be the focus.
Yeah, I think this Nunu pick, I don't know why they had so many other options for Mundo jungle, Kane jungle, but they decided to go in Nunu, and this Nunu really not ganking and also now down. I don't have the gold grab.
Oh no, Anivia going to find Misfortune. The wall going to be enough to root her up. There is not enough damage to take down Anivia before this teleport completes from Gragas. Anivia going to go golden. The Absolute Zero going to be interrupted by the body roll. And now, ooh, a double Encore going to land though. Anivia going to be put into egg form here. But Seraphine is the Moonstone build, which means there's not a whole lot of bursts coming out. Leona going to flash back in. Will eventually be able to pick up the egg. And now Gragas is on the run, but just trying to buy time now for his team because there is 3 members in Yuumi, Tristana, and Graves in the top lane, already taking down the tier 2 turret. And if you're Double Jungle Gap, you gotta get back as soon as possible.
They should be able to get an in-hit off of this too. Well, actually not even because considering all their backs are now done. So at least they break open the base. The gates have been open, Roger, which is nice though, and their entire team just continues to get stronger and stronger as Baron is not factor pressure for them. But look at also the timers on Andyland as well. Both Josh and Gordo will not be back for the next at least 20 seconds. That means this Baron is double jungle gap for the taking, but they need to go on it now.
Yeah, they need a rush.
Yep. Do have good Baron damage here. Looks like it will not be the play. Vayne instead going to go and pick up the top wave, which I think is a bit unfortunate. Vayne misfortune more than enough to DPS the Baron, but obviously there is the threat of Yuumi Graves here. Look at that, 1300 crit onto the Scuttle Crab, which is not the tankiest thing in the world, but regardless, even if that is only 60% effective, it's going to mean half of Vayne or Misfortune's HP in one auto attack.
Which is something you never want to see, right? Considering, because as of right now, just how I had this Graves is too, they need to think about how they could possibly try to set up the way advantageously so that at least they don't come in front of his face into the two-barrel shotgun too, because right now they're in no position to really take any solid 5v5, just considering how ahead Andyland is too. So now the options boil down for them, at least going for maybe a 4-1 or perhaps a 1-2-1 side step push, just to try to out macro the macro team. Because right now because they're just setting up for picks and they are dying because just recently saw with Josh and Gordo dying in the 2v3 where they had no business being. Josh even TP'd down to that, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So Ocean Dragon potential soul for Andyland is going to be available here in 20 seconds. I really don't think there's any way for Double Jungle Gap to contest. But if they don't contest, it's going to now mean that they have to deal with an Ocean Soul to punch through. And even if Vayne is level 16 with 6 items, it's still going to be a tall task. Let's see though, Double Jungle Gap here, going to walk into Gragas. Gragas just going to be on zoning duty here. Dragon is now officially alive. Tristana and Graves going to take this down in no time at all. So going to be a 4 Ocean Soul for Andyland. And now they're going to try to look for the engaged Seraphine with the W. Going to speed her team away. But yeah, thus far it's just going to be all Andyland past the early game.
You can Baron off this too easily, considering how far back Double Jungle Gap is playing. Because as long as Graves or Joshi plays zone control too, they're perfectly fine. Look how fast they're putting it down. Yeah, the Baron is just there, and Double Jungle Gap can do nothing about it. They can just walk into the base.
Yep. Yeah, this one is really rough now for Double Jungle Gap, unfortunately. At this stage with Ocean Soul. With Baron, if they just walk in and hit S, I'm pretty sure the minions will just win the game for them. But still potential avenues for comeback. Obviously, there is always the 5-man encore. If they can find a pick onto one of Anivia, Graves, or Tristana, this comp could collapse in on itself, but it's still going to be hard pressed to find that angle. Alright, this mid-tier 2, only a shred of HP left, will go down in no time. And after that, we'll see. Meanwhile, Graves, by the way, on 4.5 items with the GA as well, means that even if Graves goes down, he'll pop right back up, probably with a Yuumi on his back. So gotta really be careful if you are Double Jungle Gap, and make sure you hit tab. Yeah, look at this. These super empowered Baron minions gonna be too much even for Vayne to handle. And this mid-tier 3 is gonna go down. Mid lane inhibitor as well as top lane inhibitor now being aggressed on by Andyland. Greg is gonna try to create some pressure in the side lane. And if you're Double Jungle Gap, you gotta go.
They actually can't do anything right now. Considering Double Jungle Gap is the button for service.
Wall gonna come in now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is just brutal. Double Jungle Gap just going down without a fight. Going to be a flash engage now from Gragas. Explosive Fast going to be too far to knock Vayne back in. However, Absolute Zero coming over the top. Gragas is going to go down very, very shortly. But the rest of Andyland are more than happy to return fire. Actually, Graves going to go very, very low. Tristana a little bit separated as well. Misfortune forced the flash away. But now the Graves is online. Going to come back in. Flash Gale Force going to be able to pick up 2, now 3. And now Vayne is running for the hills. Will go down. You're going to flash towards the Tristana. Gonna give her the kill, and that will be game, ladies and gentlemen. Andyland going to now be at 11-2. Will conclusively lock up the #1 seed in Season 2 as we get ready for the playoffs. Oh my goodness, Andyland here going to delay the inevitable. Alright, Graves gonna... Alright, yeah, alright. Graves going to put the finishing touches as he should. 14-1-5. As someone who plays Graves, whenever you have Yuumi on your team and you don't just completely int the early game, this is one of the most fun combinations to play because you can just put yourself in the riskiest of situations and get away with murder. And get away with murder, Paw did. Finishing 14-1-5, gonna make the Paw Pussy Posse Patrol very, very happy. Okay, let's take a look here at what happened in this game real quick. So, early game looked very good here for Double Jungle Gap. Going to be punctuated by the early double kill here for Yeezy on the Misfortune. Tristana jumping in, going to be overestimating her damage, and even through the cleanse, even through the exhaust, going to be bursted down. So good play. Meant that Double Jungle Gap were able to pick up the first 2 dragons of the game, but unfortunately, a little bit too unconfident in their team fighting abilities meant that Andyland were able to pick up 2 Ocean Dragons uncontested, and Double Jungle Gap going to commit the cardinal sin of trying to fight after the objective is already dead. So we'll take a look at that. This was a good TP coming in from Gragas. Leona a little bit too over-aggressive means that the flank coming in from Graves going to shut down what was previously a 3-0 MF. And this really started turning the tide here for Andyland. At the second Ocean Dragon here. There we go. Let's take a look at what happened. Again, going to be the initial positioning by Andyland, forcing Double Jungle Gap into this very narrow chokehold. And it's going to mean that Tristana and Graves are going to burst down the dragon, while Double Jungle Gap are just hesitant to pull the trigger on any sort of engage. And even after dragon goes down, the team fight breaks out. The Encore going to only hit 2. The bullet time was value, but Gragas did buy stopwatch for this fight. And after all is said and done, ends up being a 1-for-1. But now we're seeing, I think, one of the downs or the weak points of Double Jungle Gap, which is over-aggression in their top laner. And Vayne tumbling into the Flash Frost means that they were able to just turn this around. And that really set the table, I think, for the rest of the game. Graves, courtesy of this fight, was able to pick up a triple kill and really get the snowball rolling. After this fight, 6-1-4 with the Yuumi on his back. Just going to be 2-shotting this very, very soft backline of Double Jungle Gap. All right. Well, with all that, we are going to hear now from the victors, as we always do. So obviously going to have to bring Graves up here, and I think it would be fair to bring Anivia up here regardless of the pregame, as the Anivia did finish with a 6-1 and 13 kill score as well. So give us a second here.
Very cool. This is very fun. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course, Ravish. Hopefully we'll see you back again. Hopefully, you enjoyed what you saw. It may not be LCS, but it's entertaining to watch nevertheless.
Yeah, man. I had a good time. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. So, take a quick look at the damage charts here. Nivea going to be leading the way at 25k. Vayne not too far behind at 23. Graves at 19.6. But damn, did that damage matter. So let's hear from them shortly. Where is Discord? Gonna drag them up. All right, the kidnapping commences. So we have both Philip and Gordo Lee. The Graves, Gordo Lee, the Anivia from the past game. Another win for Andyland. Just another day at the office, it seems like. But a little bit of a different angle here. I think in your guys' past games, we haven't really seen Philip 1v9 nearly as hard as he did this game. If we're being honest, it's really 2v8 because having a Yumi on your back is just so unfair when you have a lead. But we saw the paw Graves. Was this something that you guys planned going into this game?
No, not really. Actually, I had to really fight for the Graves.
Oh.
My team loves putting me on Hecarim.
Yeah.
You know, like I just had to be like, guys, let's let me be the tank top gunman. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean,
well, I mean, your team definitely should trust you a lot more after that performance. Ended up 14-1 when all is said and done, which is going to make the posse very, very happy. What do you have to say to your legion of adoring fans?
Yo, we all can pop off at any time. Just like pop your peas. Trust in the pop for life, pop pussy, stand up.
Okay, indeed. So PPPPP. Hold on. We also have a question from the audience, actually. So I just want to confirm here, Princeton's hand job. You want me to ask Philip this question, yeah? Or you want me to ask Gordo this question?
Princess hand job.
Okay, all right. We're asking Philip. So Princess Handjob actually really failed to read the parameters of the request. That is not a question, but Princess Handjob asks you to ask out me Yeezy.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna nip that one in the bud.
I'm just gonna say Gloria had a great shit talking game. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's ever trying to pop off anytime. Let me know, me Yeezy.
All right, chill.
Pop out.
Okay, so there you go. Meanwhile, gonna now turn it over to Gordo Lee on the Anivia. We know that you have that champion ocean, and apparently Anivia lives within those waters. Gonna pick up the win, 6-1-13, the damage leader for your team. What was the inspiration behind picking Anivia for this game?
Well, we know that Arena Thunder loves playing Anivia, and most teams have opted to ban it, but we decided to play the no U card and just yoink it. First pick that so that they don't get the chance to ban it or pick it. And
Right.
yeah, hopefully just show them how it's done.
Show them how it's done. Yeah, apparently, because Arena Thunder here are going to redeem 2,000 channel points to ask you if you can teach her Anivia. So in defeat, going to turn it into a potential learning opportunity. What do you have to say to that?
I think one of her biggest strengths is just holding those choke points. We saw that multiple times this game when they were kind of shuffling over to the dragon. They can't get past the ultimate if they're trying to go through that corridor.
Right.
And that, along with the wall. By the way, picking Nunu into Anivia is not great because I can always, stop your snowball by clicking W.
Yeah, we saw that Nunu really didn't do too much this game. Ran into a lot of Anivia walls face first.
Right. So yeah, just looking for those zoning tools and knowing how the teams want to play out the team fight, and just playing to that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So going to mean here that again, Andyland conclusively lock up the #1 seed going into the playoffs. It will guarantee them the first round bye as well as their pick of their semi-final opponent, whomever that ends up being. We'll hear from that. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Let's hear more from Pa says Sindisic. So, Philip, anything else you want to say about this game, about this season, about your team, about your fan club?
Yo, I want people to bring it, guys. Let's go. I want more games. You know, people need to start strategizing together. You know, y'all need to 1v9 us. You know, like or 9v1 us. You know.
They need to get their shit together, put it all
Yeah,
in the bag.
seriously, man. Let's go, guys.
Yeah,
Also,
okay.
Andy, put me on Graves more. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe this will go a long way towards Andyland putting more trust in a very, very confident jungler after that game. I'm here for it, Philip, my boy. I
I
know
love it, Roger.
I
Thanks.
know the heights that you are capable of achieving, so hopefully after this game your team gives you that matches that confidence as well. All right. Well, thank you then to the pair of you. Congratulations to Andyland on the #1 seed. We're now going to look forward to the rest of the week. The next broadcast going to be on Wednesday. So be here at 8 p.m. PST for Hapuma Matata versus Support Diff. Outside of Andyland, the playoff race is still very much in contention here. Hapuma Matata at 6-4, Support Diff fighting at 5-5. Going to be a lot of jostling for that second seed, which will also mean that they get a bye as well. So don't miss that. If you guys like what you saw, please show your support for the rest of the league as well. See you guys on Wednesday. Good night, Twitch chat.